Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
And welcome to Open Your Eyes, Start Your Morning Right. I'm Marlene Cuellar, and thank you for joining me this morning. It is a wet Tuesday morning, and I know we are a bit tired of the rain, but if the forecasts pan out to be true, we're going to be seeing some rains in the morning and sunny days nonetheless. But we'll be finding out in just a few. But first, we are going to get you started with some motivation for your day. So our eye-opener for today, taken from dailyom.com, goes like this. Being of service to our community is part of being a good citizen of the planet Earth. To live harmoniously, we need to be supportive and helpful to all people, creatures, and plant life that shared this earth with us. While being of service is part of being a good citizen of the world, it also feels good to help others. When we do something for others in service without the expectation of anything in return, we are turning our actions into offerings. There are many ways to be of service to our community. There are the obvious and much needed volunteer opportunities. Then there is the kind of service that we may not even think of as being acts of service. Learning a new language, perhaps sign language, so that you can talk to more people is a way to reach out to others. Inviting someone who isn't motivated enough to exercise on their own to join, sharing flowers from your garden, offering to babysit for a busy parent, or donating to a shelter are all simple ways to offer your services to your community. Every day, you can do something to make this world a better place. Smiling at a stranger who looks down in the dumps or teaching your neighborhood kids how to whistle will impact someone's day or even their life. Giving of yourself is the best gift that you can give. What a lovely eye-opener for today. And I have to say, the timing as summer approaches, it's really a great reminder. If you have young adults at home, if you have teenagers at home, being of service to community is something that I know a lot of the schools try to instill. Most students have community service hours that they have to fulfill, whether at high school level or at junior college or university level. But I think the idea is to be able to continue giving even when it's not for credit or it's not for an assignment. Summer approaches, there are a lot of organizations that can definitely use an extra hand. And here's the thing about being able to offer yourself as a volunteer. It's a win-win situation. Very often you gain not just experience and knowledge, but you gain from being able to help other people in areas where they wouldn't have been able to do it for themselves. So I highly encourage, as the summer months approach, that you are able to find organizations that align with your passions, your interests, and talk to them about whether or not you can come in as a volunteer and give your time freely. We spoke yesterday with Belize Red Cross, and they are an organization that relies heavily on volunteers. That's one of the areas you can go to. There is, if you're in Belize City, the Welcome Resource Center that has a day home for persons who are living on the streets. They always need a helping hand. And if you can't give your time, sometimes you can give of what you have in excess. Extra clothes that you haven't been going through, giving extra money if that's something that is affordable to you at this time. But the point is, when you start to see yourself as an integral part of community and not just an observer that sits back and very often be critical, we can have a much more fulfilling relationship. Right? So that is our eye opener for this morning. All right, and so with that, we are going to get into our weather update for today. As we said, there is a bit of rain predicted. Agatha is causing us rain all over the country. So our forecast for today, the general situation.
Moist and unstable conditions continue across the country and will support a few showers, periods of rain, and isolated thunderstorms over the northern and central coast and Keys and over the Orange Walk and Corozal districts this morning. These will then shift to inland areas this afternoon. Showers, periods of rain, and thunderstorms will increase across the country tonight and will continue to affect the country Wednesday and Wednesday night. Winds today will blow from the east and southeast 10 to 20 knots with higher gusts near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Moderate seas will become rough at times and the small craft caution remains in effect. High tides occur at 9:51 this morning and 11:37 tonight. Low tides follow at 5:30 this evening and 4:27 tomorrow morning. Temperatures this afternoon peak at 78 Fahrenheit up in the Maya Mountains, 84 along the coast and 86 inland. The moon comes up at 6:03 this morning and sunset is at 6:23 this evening. In the sargassum forecast, there continues to be a medium to high chance of more sargassum landing on beaches across the country during the next few days. And a flood watch remains in effect for the country for flood-prone and low-lying areas. In the latest tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center for the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico, near the Yucatan Peninsula and southern Gulf of Mexico, I quote, a large and complex area of low pressure is expected to develop near the Yucatan Peninsula and the northwestern Caribbean Sea in a couple of days, partially related to the remnants of Tropical Storm Agatha from the eastern Pacific. Despite strong upper-level winds over the area, the system could become a tropical depression while it moves northeastward over the northwestern Caribbean Sea and southeastern Gulf of Mexico late this week. Regardless of development, locally heavy rainfall is likely across portions of southeastern Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, and Belize during the next few days, spreading across western Cuba, southern Florida, and the Florida Keys by the end of the week. End of quote. And that's the latest from the Belize Weather Bureau. Do have a pleasant day.
Right, so that is our weather update for this morning. Definitely going to be a rainy day ahead, and so you want to plan accordingly. I do, of course, want to make note of the two advisories that were mentioned in the forecast, and the first is for the small craft caution. Do keep in mind, if you had plans on heading out to sea, check the forecast first, see what the advisory is. Right now there's a small craft caution. And also the flood watch. We have been getting a substantial amount of rain since the end of last week. And if you know you live in a flood-prone area, please keep monitoring the situation, especially since more rainfall is expected within the next few days. All right. And so that is our weather update for today. I think Agatha and all the rain that she's causing is a really timely reminder for us that tomorrow is the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Now, you know, the start of the hurricane season is the date that we're accustomed to using, June 1st, but we've seen storms before, we've seen storms early in the season. It really is an important time for us to start thinking about how we can prepare ourselves, and that's in two ways. One is by sitting and having a conversation with the family, and that includes the children, about what we plan to do if there is a storm that will be coming our way or in your particular area. Assess your homes, see, if you know that it's somewhere, a place that you can stay to weather maybe a milder storm or a milder hurricane. If you can't, know where your shelters are. And also, if you know you want to leave entirely from a coastal area, talk to family members or friends if you know you want to go inland. Have those conversations now, because it's going to be a lot less hectic than when we do come under the threat of a storm. As the Chief Met told us yesterday, there is a prediction for an above average hurricane season. And we have seen a number of storms, especially major storms, devastate countries in the region. So we always have to be prepared just in the event that we come under a threat. So that's one of the things that's happening. Of course, yesterday we also saw the official rollout of the childhood vaccination campaign. We saw the release, and we had the CEO and the Ministry of Education last week on the show talking about the arrival of the low-dose Pfizer vaccine, which is being used for children ages 5 to 11. The vaccinations are being given out primarily through the schools, although they do have some of the clinics that are offering it if parents want to go there on their own time along with their children. The vaccinations are 2 doses, and of course, it is to help to reduce severe effects of COVID-19 in children. I know that the parents received forms for them to be able to consent to the vaccination. It'll be interesting to see what parents' thoughts are, and we always welcome you to share your views as well. How do you feel about getting your child vaccinated? We saw some parents taking their children to get vaccinated yesterday, what that momentum will be like, and if we'll be able to get sufficient of the children vaccinated. This is a key development in where we have been in the pandemic. Having younger children protected does help us in building that herd immunity and ensuring that when we face waves like we're seeing right now, that we can be guaranteed a lesser severe cases in our loved ones. So we do encourage you to seek accurate information. The Ministry of Health has a hotline, and you can access them if you want to find, if you have questions, if you have concerns. I know oftentimes, if your child has some kind of illness or chronic condition, if they have asthma or type 1 diabetes or anemia, parents tend to have more questions about whether or not the vaccine is safe for them. Reach out to your doctor, reach out to the Ministry of Health, find out from them what their advice is, rather than just Googling or asking friends, and be sure that you make the best decision for your child. And another development yesterday, following up on conversations we had last week, we were joined by Alex Evans last week, Belizean panist, and he talked about making it to the semifinal round of Panograma over the weekend. Well, Alex did his performance over the weekend. He said, he was completely backed by women in Belize. His hair was styled by female friends. He had an outfit that was specially styled. The setting was specially curated, and even the art that he used in his performance, it was by female artists. And the good news is that Alex has made it to the final round. And we, of course, want to say congratulations to him, and we'll be following along that process as well. Alex is the first Belizean to participate in this competition, and so him being able to make a name for himself and the country by extension is really something to be able to celebrate. There he is. That is Panograma semifinals. And so he is moving forward to the final round of competition. And we do hope that you show your support. There is some online voting that is involved. So don't just say, way to go, Alex. Go on Facebook, go on Instagram, look up Panograma, and find out how you can show him some additional support as he moves into this next stage of the competition. All right, and with that though, we have to get into our show for today. And while we have been talking about COVID, there is another disease that's been buzzing all over the world. And so today we are going to get some information about monkeypox. Now, it was confirmed in Mexico over the weekend, so it's right next door to us. And we're going to find out from Dr. Jorge Hidalgo the details on this latest disease and whether we should be concerned about it. So that's going to be our first conversation for today. And then the second part of our show, World Environment Day, is coming up, and it's typically celebrated on June 5th. So we'll have the Department of Environment who will come and they'll talk to us about the importance of this day, the theme, which is Only One Earth, and the activities that they have planned to celebrate. And lastly, it's graduation season, and we're going to be joined by some top achievers from different schools across the country. And we're starting off with the top achievers from St. Catherine Academy. So we're going to talk to these students, find out what it took to be able to excel at the level they did, and what's their plan for the future. So that's going to be our third conversation for today. We're going to go ahead and take that first break. And when we come back, you can find out all about monkeypox. So please stay tuned.
After a rough week of school, Jake and his friends decide to treat themselves to frozen coffee. And since they don't have cash on them, they decide to use eCash. With eCash's geolocation feature, Jake can easily find the nearest coffee spot. With eCash's built-in option to split bills, Jake can pay the bill and his friends can reimburse their portion of the bill. Jake scans the merchant's code and confirms payment. Jake then views his transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made, then taps the Split the Bill button where he selects the Evenly option to evenly split the bill. The application splits the bill automatically. His friends receive and accept the request. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash makes Jake enjoy his digital lifestyle.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package include 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Or you can drop off all completed forms into the Dropbox slot at the nearest branch office. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And we are back. We're moving into our first conversation for this morning. We've spent so much of the past few years talking about a new disease, COVID-19. And now, because across the globe there is active monitoring, including here in Belize for monkeypox, we are getting the details with Dr. Jorge Hidalgo. Of course, he's an intensive care specialist at Belize Healthcare Partners. And good morning, Doc.
Good morning, and thank you for having me again, talking to a different topic today.
Yes, yes. And well, I'll be honest, I think most people are saying, no, I don't want to think about another new disease. I'm sure you get that a lot.
Yes. Well, as we spoke the last time, most of us, and I believe all the population, is already tired to hear about COVID. But just briefly, COVID is still there. The pandemic is not over. But now we
still see hospitalizations,
we
right?
still have some cases in the hospital, and also a lot of people testing positive. Fortunately, the less of hospitalized patients is less than the previous waves. No?
Yeah. And so now there is an active surveillance for monkeypox. Let's step back for a moment. This is another zoonotic disease, and not typically spread to the countries that it's being detected in. Tell us a bit about the disease itself and why there is an alert out to monitor.
Yeah. Well, first of all, as just to mention, monkeypox is not a new disease. Actually was discovered in 1958 and basically on lab monkeys. No? Then the first human case was reported in 1970 in El Congo, and especially was a baby. No? And then from there, we have most of the cases centralized in Central and West Africa. And the first cases that was reported out of Africa was in an outbreak that was reported in 2003 in the US. And basically, those outbreak was as a result of some animals that was basically brought from Africa to the US. And then the people get in contact with them. And then we have in 2021 also one case reported. And now we have this outbreak that is basically called the Attention, where we have the first case reported in April 29 in the UK, and then that's basically started this new outbreak that is called Our Attention, because by now we have more than 300 cases, more than 23 countries affected, mainly Europe, but we have cases reported in Canada, cases reported in the US, we have cases in Argentina, and just recently we have a case documented in our neighbor country, Mexico, and of course that's mean that the virus is knocking in our door again.
Since it doesn't typically spread into all these countries, what do we know about why it's spreading across the globe?
Yeah, well, the first cases, and we're still not completely understanding, was a patient that essentially traveled to Africa, and then he became in contact with many other people in the UK. Then there was a spread to Spain, Portugal. The case in the US was a patient that traveled to Canada, apparently also getting in contact with someone who traveled to Africa, and that's the how to the spread started, because then of course everybody get in contact, nobody realized that they have this condition, and then the way how we can contract that this monkeypox could be in many ways. We can get in contact with basically the rash and the vesicles in the skin, the secretions of a patient, also just to petting an animal that is already infected, we can contract that. No?
Oh wow, yeah. Let's step back for a moment. When we see the images of monkeypox, people are thinking of it like chickenpox, but the closer relation is actually smallpox.
That's correct, and that's a good question, because one of the smallpox was very bad. No, as probably if we go back, the smallpox have many very aggressive, like more than 30% lethality, and some of those patients that survive, they have a lot of deformities because of the skin affection, no? And even some people get blind, because left blind because of the condition. And then the last case of smallpox was reported in 1978, and in 1980 was the first eradicated disease with the use of the immunization. No?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the important aspects with the smallpox and monkeypox is because it's a related virus, and then when we got the smallpox vaccine, we can have a cross protection with the vaccine. But of course, when the condition was eradicated, the decision was just to hold, and nobody is getting immunized for smallpox. No?
Oh.
I mean that probably those that have 50 years and above, those were in that population.
Yeah. So people who were vaccinated before the 70s, late 70s, would have gotten a smallpox vaccine.
Exactly.
Which should help them with immunity for monkeypox.
Exactly. That's one of the things that we believe, that probably this population, it's very difficult to say because it's more than 50 years ago, that those that we got that vaccine probably have some kind of protection, even though that we know that with time, and that was we are learning with COVID, the immunization from the vaccines waned. But it's one of the theories. Of course, also one of the good things is that we have already a vaccine that is, of course, not in a mass production, is not already available to everyone, but we already have a vaccine that it can work for monkeypox. Actually, one of the new versions of the vaccine specifically for monkeypox was developed in 2019 and make available in 2019 for specific workers. And
people who are high risk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also we have an antiviral medication that also is not available for everyone, but there is some of the resources that fortunate are available in case of the condition escalate more.
So let's talk about some of the basics of monkeypox here. We see some pictures as to what it looks like. It looks like little pus bumps, pustules on the skin. if that's how evident the disease is, how are people catching it?
Well, there are many symptoms. The incubation period, it can vary for 5 to 21 days. And of course, the most important thing is that, as we mentioned, how we are going to get infected is basically in contact with saliva, in contact with secretions. If someone have the rash, and of course, when we have this breakup, then and we get in touch with that, we can contract that. And then the symptoms, fever, one of the most important symptoms, then the patients can start to experience generalized weakness, muscle ache, and a difference to other similar conditions, like we can say chickenpox, one of the most common ones. Then the patients are going to notice that they have an enlargement of the glands, especially the lymphatic nodules in that cervical area is going to be enlarged. And then they will notice the appearance of the rash in the face, and then it's going to be disseminated to the trunk.
Yeah.
And it will affect the palms in the hands and also the soles in the feet.
Is it a painful illness?
It's painful. They have, especially with a lot of muscle ache and fever, and also we can have also lesions in the genital areas. And also some of the ways of contracting the condition is with people that are engaged on intimate contact.
Now, I want to get into that because that's been a part of the misinformation that is out there. People are tying the transmission of monkeypox to men who have sex with men. Is that the sole mode of transmission, and what's the link there?
No, this is of course one of the ways how we can contract the condition. One of the most important aspects that we don't want to say, okay, this is the group of population that is affected, is just a way of transmission. And even if you have sex, even with condoms, with protection, if the skin is break, then the condom is not going to offer you any protection. I mean, and this is the contact with those breakups and the secretion, of course, that we can get infected with the monkeypox. But also, as I'm saying, just having a pet that is infected and we are petting that, or if we are in a conversation with contact with person with the saliva, also we can get infected.
Yeah. So masks would be helpful in reducing that for people who are still using masks. How severe is it?
Well, the condition it could be very severe in a sense that the rate of lethality is not bad. I mean that this is self-limited.
So people don't usually die from it?
Very rare. But
very rare.
Very rare. What is called the attention to the public health authorities is that, as mentioned, just in April 29, we have the first case, and even that we don't have a huge amount of cases is the fact that there are is spreading in several countries, and we've seen again more than 300 cases, and then that's essentially that's called the attention. Despite that, it's not too, the lethality rate is not too high. As long as a virus is in that amount of activity, as we mentioned with COVID, then the possibilities of mutation of a virus is something that causes alarm.
So what you're saying is that because in 1 month's time, it's been spread to 23 countries and about 300 people, or over 20 countries and about 300 people, that's concerning because it doesn't typically spread that far and that fast.
Exactly. We don't see monkeypox, at least as I mentioned, in 2003 we have 43 cases very localized in the US.
Yeah.
And then we used to see most of the cases localized in Africa, and now seeing this spread too fast, then that is essentially that call the attention of the authorities, and then that's why all the different countries that belongs to the WHO are essentially on alarm and trying to start with surveillance for monkeypox.
Could it be that the mode of transmission has changed?
Well, that could be one of the reasons, and also because it's a condition that we don't know, and we can have a rash, and we assume that probably it's nothing. Could be we assuming that it's probably something mild, and then we get in touch with the people, and then especially when the rash is active is when the condition is more transmissible.
Are we talking like a regular rash, or does it have to look like the pictures we've seen where it's like big pus bumps?
At the very beginning, it could be just a regular rash, but then after that, we will see the typical rash of the monkeypox, no?
Yeah.
And then when we have that, and then we have the secretions, we have we are talking with someone, then that can be also transmitted by respiratory droplets that we inhale that. I mean that's why I believe in a way the fact that we are on those different measures for COVID, that also are the different measures that it will help us to prevent monkeypox.
So let's walk through the symptoms for people. Since we do know that there is active surveillance, people need to know what to do. So what should you look out for? What would be some of the early symptoms?
Yeah, the most important thing is that if you notice that you have fever, you start developing a rash, especially a rash in the face that is spread to the trunk, arms, and legs. And then, of course, if you notice some of your cervical glands inflamed, we normally examine ourselves.
What is that, behind the head?
And also in the neck.
Okay.
If we notice that we have our lymphatic nodules inflamed, then those are symptoms of alarm, and then that we need to look for medical attention just to make sure, and especially if we know that we potentially travel to a country. Right now, you know, traveling is so easy that we are moving from one country to another easily. Then if we went to a country that is a case was reported, then I think so, the best thing is to go to your the family doctor, and then trying to get surveillance and be tested for that.
Is there treatment available?
The condition, as I mentioned, is self-limited. But
which means it goes away on its own.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be go away by their own. But in a particular situation where the case is more severe, then we have antivirals available. Again, the antiviral medications that we have right now that we know that works for monkeypox are essentially not available around the world. It's nothing. We know that they are there, but it's not a medication that you will find now like COVID. I mean that they need to be basically produced massively to be
because
basically
it wasn't
available.
something
it wasn't,
so
right, exactly.
so dominant.
The similar like the vaccine.
So, what does severe? I mean, who is at risk for getting severe symptoms, and what does that look like?
Well, as every other condition, and as similar with COVID, always the vulnerable population are those that we are more looking after that, especially patients with an immunocompromised condition, patients with cancer, patients with HIV, patients with lupus, those patients that the immune system is already weak, then those are a higher risk to have a more severe form of the disease.
Yeah. And Doc, people are watching and they're just thinking to monitor another disease. How worried should the public be?
Well, as one of the most important things is that this one is not it's like if we can compare with COVID, we can say that it's not like COVID. It's similar like COVID because it's a viral infection.
Yeah.
But in terms of the rate of lethality is not bad. No. Again, the concerning issue is that the amount of cases and the rapid movement of the condition and that we've seen too much cases. Again, most of those cases are self-limited. We don't want to create any panic into the population. This is just an education, an informative session just to create awareness of a new disease, but a disease that is essentially
it's new to us. Have we had monkeypox in Belize before?
That's the thing. Even that is not a new disease. For many of the countries, we are basically the country that they are seeing is new for us. No?
Yeah.
For this area of the world.
And like any disease, it affects demographics different. Ethnicity is different.
That is
so
correct.
we don't know that much about it yet.
Exactly. We again with similar even so that we have certain amount of information because we have this background and we have cases reported since 1958 and cases in Africa where majority of the cases, especially Central and West Africa, are reported. In a sense, that's way because we have certain background information and how to what to expect and what to look for.
Yeah.
Even so, again, as you say, it's a new condition for us.
And children, can they be affected?
Yes, actually, the first case in 1970 was a baby. No?
Oh.
I mean that any group of population can be affected.
Yeah. And once again, that key population that the assumption is would be more affected might be those who are born after after the 70s.
Yeah. Again, we will need to see exactly what layer of protection we have in terms of for those that get the smallpox vaccine.
Yeah.
If we still have certain layer of protection.
Yeah.
But of course, one of the things right now is to have the vaccine available in case we see this condition to escalate to a more number of cases and more countries. No?
And that's concerning because as we've been learning with COVID, it's when it mutates and variants become created.
Exactly.
Is that the primary concern?
That's the primary concern because as you say, and we see with COVID, the more cases, the more actively is the virus, then the possibility of this virus to mutate and have other type of other variants and more aggressive variants is the part that we always look for.
Yeah. All right, so if I have a skin rash, what's your advice to me?
Well, if someone notices suddenly, especially if you travel, if you travel to the U.S. where we have the closest country and that we have more cases reported, and if we suspect that we probably get in contact with someone and we start to notice a rash, we start to notice a fever, we start to see an enlargement of our lymphatic glands, then the most important thing is you need to go and see your family physician for advice. And
is there a test that you take?
Yes, it's the similar like other virus. Then it's a PCR test that we send for confirmation. In the meantime, if we have a case that is we consider is a suspected case of monkeypox, then in the meantime, until we have the confirmation, the patient needs to be isolated.
Yeah. And preventative measures?
The preventative measures are basically the same that we already are with COVID. We need to wash our hands properly, especially we have contact with secretions. We need to wash our hands properly. We need to wear masks, especially if we are going to be in contact with someone because of the droplets, especially with someone respiratory infections. The general measure that we are already familiar with is going to basically work and prevent us to contract monkeypox.
Is there any information available as to whether or not it will continue spreading into new countries?
Well, right now, our region of interest is the Americas, and then like right now.
Why is it a region of interest?
Because we live in the it's our continent. No? Then what we see right now, we have the different conditions. We have Canada that they have documented. We have the U.S. We have Mexico. We got Argentina, and we have right now.
Oh, we're being sandwiched in the middle.
And then we have suspected cases in Bolivia and Brazil.
Okay.
And then Brazil is a huge population as well. Mean that again, we have case in Mexico. The condition is already knocking in the door of police, and then we need to have all our alarms and alerts. And again, as you say, if you see something different, if you see a rash that is not common, if you see a fever, and then you travel to those countries, then you must try to get in touch with the family physician, trying to start surveillance, and also look for the contacts.
Yeah.
And then most important, get tested. No?
So think of it like a chicken pox. You want to keep them separate anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to have, and this one is more or less for 21 days observation.
All right. Any final advice to our viewers who are probably saying, please stop telling us about new diseases?
Well, the most important thing is what we need to basically do what we basically already learned for the last 2 years in terms of precautions. We need to basically be observant over washing our hands, trying to wear our mask whenever is needed. I know some of us believe that we can, this basically measure already lifted, but we need to be very cautious, especially if we are going to be in crowded areas. No?
Yeah. All right. Well, Dr. Hidalgo, it's important that we understand what's happening around us and the risks associated. It's a positive thing that it's not a highly lethal disease, but I understand your point in being able to reduce the spread so we don't see any mutations in the virus as well. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for the invitation.
Right. Keeping us updated with what's happening around the world in health. We are going to go ahead and take a break now, and from talking about global health to talking about the environment. World Environment Day is coming up, and the Department of Environment will be telling us all about how they're going to celebrate after the break.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Wake up! Wake up! Now which cheese you think you me to eat all the while? Gallo cheese with the blue rooster on the label is the traditional and the real deal. The original Dutch, redback or hard cheese in a Belize. Be aware! Check your label and make sure it is in English and for the Belize market. Gallo cheese with the blue rooster. The real deal. Santiago Castillo Limited, supporting and building our Belizean community for 95 years and counting.
Gaia Edam Dutch cheese, aged and tropicalized, the best formula for the Belize market, exclusively distributed by Santiago Castillo Limited.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Action Power Tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Belizeans deserve a fast, dependable, high-quality internet service in their homes for online, virtual classes, and to work from home. It's the new way of life. Diginet is the #1 fiber service that is powering Belize's digital transformation. And now, this reliable fiber service is even more affordable with our new entry plan. For a limited time only, you and your family can enjoy 20 megabits per second of fiber service to your home for only $49 monthly. No more missed classes and interrupted meetings. It's costing you time and money. Diginet is better than cable and better than wireless. Visit a Digistore today to sign up for the best home internet service in Belize. Come see what you've been missing. Same high quality, fast, and reliable fiber service, now at an even lower price. For more information, visit livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, our national telecom.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Wow. Oh my God, she drunk. No hurry, I got this. Goodness. Oh my gosh, it's the artist.
Being the hardest. The artist. But you had way more than 2 drinks tonight, love, which is a legal limit to drive. What about you? Can you drive?
Well, I was drinking soft drink all night, so I can drive her home. Thanks, Bree. Of course, Tricia, you know I got you. You're my girl.
That's what I like to see. Friends don't let friends drive drunk, cause you can't replay in a real life. Stig says so. Can't replay in a real life.
In the universe are billions of galaxies.
In our galaxy are billions of planets.
But there is only one Earth.
For most of our history, humans lived in harmony with nature.
But we have shattered that balance.
Exploiting our planet for products and wealth. Creating a climate catastrophe, driving species to extinction.
And polluting our land, seas, and air.
The wave of life is fraying. If it fails, we as a species will fail too.
The science is clear, and time is running out.
We must go from harming our planet to healing it.
We must protect what we have and bring back what we lost to advance to a more sustainable future where everyone can thrive.
Humanity has come together before to prevent environmental catastrophes.
We have helped repair the ozone layer.
We've restored millions of hectares of land and marine ecosystems, protecting thousands of species. And we've banned dangerous pollutants,
saving countless lives.
Let those victories be the torches that ignite more action and illuminate the path to a world in which we are once again at peace with nature.
In the universe are billions of galaxies. In our galaxy are billions of planets. But there is only one Earth.
Solo un planeta Tierra.
只有一个地球。
केवल एउटै पृथ्वी.
Bara en jord.
Dunia ni moja tu.
And there we go. What a better introduction for the upcoming World Environment Day. And it's commemorated on June 5th. And here to tell us all about how Belize will be celebrating from the Department of Environment, Environmental Officer Jorge Franco. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited.
Nice.
This week we are gearing up to celebrate World Environment Day, which is on June 5th. And we have planned a lot of activities, which is we're calling, based on the theme, which is Only One Earth. It's basically a call of action.
Yeah.
We know that Earth is having what we call a triple threat. We're looking at climate change, we're looking at nature loss, biodiversity loss, and we're looking at pollution and waste.
Yeah.
So this year commemorates 50 years of celebrating World Environment Day. So it was established since 1972. So it's a great event, it's a big event, and this year's theme is the same theme that was given for the first year of World Environment Day. Again, it's a call of action.
We're repeating the same theme.
We're repeating the same theme because we believe it's 50 plus, and we need to commemorate it and mark our, half a century of celebrating World Environment Day.
It means in 50 years we still didn't achieve that goal with only one Earth.
We're only one Earth, and it's what we call constant improvement.
Yeah, yeah. Jorge, let's step back for a moment. I think we should have been outdoors, but we can blame the weather, right? But when I saw that video that just aired, I think putting into context how when we talk about environmental practices that we have, the things that we do to preserve our environment here in Belize, how it's just one in the entire puzzle of what's happening on Earth. Let's look at the public education work that the Department of Environment does, how you drive this message home that Belize, as beautiful and as rich as we are in our resources, we are only a part of this global community.
Well, it's through the public awareness unit of the Department of the Environment that we try to raise these awareness. We already know that government is doing a lot. It's having its policies, it's having its action plans in place. But through the public awareness, we want to raise awareness now to garner community involvement.
Yeah.
And so the activities that we planned this week is basically going out there and engaging everyone. If you look at the video, they say, excuse me, everyone needs to be involved to make sure that we can save planet Earth.
Yeah.
And so we do these activities geared to the general public, and we have, I think, it's 3 activities that we really want to push out there to build that awareness within the general community.
Yeah. They always say that the younger population, that they are becoming far more aware and very big advocates against some of the issues surrounding climate justice. They are, we've saw them at COP26, they took to the streets, they've been very vocal. So these competitions, you're hoping that the young people in Belize are going to get involved?
Well, that's the intention. The week events includes everybody from the youngest to the oldest and to family and the community as a whole. For example, this week we're having the TikTok competition, which is geared at primary schools. It's basically just tell us what Only One Earth means to you. Give us 2 minutes video, and you have a chance to win one of 3 great prizes. But not only that, once you are involved, right, you have the opportunity for your TikTok video to be highlighted through the UN website as well, because we'll be putting out all the TikToks, but unfortunately we can only have 3 winners, and we'll be putting these out using the hashtag Only One Earth, hashtag World Environment Day.
And the deadline is today.
The deadline is today, unfortunately. It's been out there for 2 weeks.
The good thing is TikTok's easy for Mick, right?
Beautiful. That's the idea, and we realize that it doesn't take a lot of resources. So that's the intention behind it.
All right. So the age for that competition, you said, is primary school age?
Only primary school. Okay. But again, we always want the parents, the brothers, the siblings to get involved with the primary school students. So it's a family affair.
All right. And all you have to do is use the hashtag when you post it so that it can be found by your people.
Well, whether they don't, once it's submitted to DOE, we will evaluate and then we will add on the hashtag. So you will definitely get, that publicity out there. Global.
What are the prizes involved here?
Okay, for first prize, we have a Samsung tablet and a check for $100. We know that you have to pay for your internet, so we are cognizant of that. Second prize, we have a school bag full of goodies worth over $100, plus a check of $50. And third prize, we have a Motorola headset and a check for $30.
Okay, good. Those are some fantastic prizes. A brand new tablet for a primary schooler is a big deal.
Exactly, and they can use it to do schoolwork. I know some of the schools are still having some online sessions as well, so it benefits.
So that's one of the competitions you're having. Tell us about the others.
What we have planned on Friday, June 3rd, is what we call an environmental fair. We want to bring out local businesses. We want to highlight their environmental products, highlight our local producers. Most of the time, they are not given that exposure. A lot of time, we don't know they are there. The local crafts. We also want to bring out the government departments so that they can sensitize the general public on what they're doing to combat this triple threat that Earth is facing. And how is it that we are going to resolve this issue?
Okay, and where is that fair going to be?
The fair is going to be in Belmopan. It's at the Civic Center Park. It's near the Social Security, and it runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah. All right, and so people can go out and see many different businesses. And the third event?
The third event is on Saturday, June 4th. We have a walkathon scheduled in Orange Walk. We have a walkathon scheduled in Belmopan. In Orange Walk, we've teamed up with the Orange Walk Town Council, a local NGO, a youth NGO, Eco Hearts, and also a project that is working in the restoration efforts for the New River. So with the Orange Walk Town Council, we ask that if you want to participate in the walkathon, to contact the Ms. Josie Canton from Eco Hearts, Mr. Belisario Carballo, and with Martuar, you can register through the Department of the Environment. Now the one in Belmopan, well, let me go back to the Orange Walk one. The walk starts and ends at the Orange Walk Central Park, which everybody also knows as the Queen Elizabeth Park. And it starts at 6 a.m. So be there. We will be offering T-shirts. So when you register in time, so that you get your T-shirt for the day of the walkathon.
Okay.
And
so that's Orange Walk.
That is for Orange Walk. And in the Bond in Belmopan, it's 6 a.m. It starts from Kamalote and it goes into Belmopan. We've coordinated there along with the Belmopan Town Council, but you can register with the DOE. We have put out a link. You register there again, and you can participate and earn yourself a free T-shirt for the walkathon. The one for Belize City, we had to postpone. We're in a sunny situation, so we're putting off the Belize City walkathon until June 11th. So we got more time to prepare for that. So we expect Belize City to be a bigger walkathon. Again, it was celebrating World Environment Day, and we want to make sure that even though it's June 5th, every day is a chance to improve our environment. So on June 11th, we come out in strong force in Belize City. We do the walk from BTL Park to Lighthouse and back. We will be providing snacks. Again, we encourage everybody to come out as a family. Bring your recyclable water bottles. We will be having refilling stations. We don't want to be using the disposable bags, the plastics, the one-time use. So we encourage people to come out with their recyclables. We will also have some available if needed.
Now, that's such a key thing, because we've seen many times where you have these long walks, and then you just, as you pass through, you're just seeing the plastic bags all over the place, which would definitely not fit in for Environment Day. Jorge, let's take a moment, though, as we talk about commemorating World Environment Day. One of the big things that's been happening, that's been finalized this year that we haven't discussed, has been the ban on plastics. And it has done two things. One, it's kept people a bit more conscious, but it's also opened an industry for biodegradable products as well. Talk to us about some of the things that you know people have ventured into and how Belizeans across the country are trying to get behind this initiative.
Well, as you may know, it's a phased approach. We've seen a lot of the biodegradables coming in now, they are importing. Yeah. We are aware of local producers who are now transitioning into actually manufacturing biodegradables here. And the beautiful thing of that is that we are expecting the high cost of these biodegradable imports. If you produce them locally, the cost can be cheaper and made more affordable to the general public. Wow. Right? So there's a phase out. We're moving towards that, the single use. So we are working closely with local manufacturers. We know that manufacturing in Belize only meets a low percentage of the consumption. So we are stepping up our control with the Customs Department through the ASICODA system to make sure, and with Belize Bureau of Standards, to make sure that whatever we import meets our national biodegradable standards. Yeah. It's a challenge, but we're working closely, not only with the DOE, but like I said, it's a government effort. What are some of the products that are being manufactured here? Some of the products that we're seeing that will soon be manufactured would be the biodegradables, clamshells. You're going to see some of the cups. Okay. You know, we're going to see some of those coming on. We know people are doing experimental work with the spoons and forks. It's not, people might think it's easy, just put a batch in and a spoon comes out. No, there's a science behind it. We have to make sure we get the proper mixtures of the materials so that they could, you know, meet our standards. Because the point is it's supposed to be biodegradable. That's right. Yeah, yeah. And that's the standards that you're talking about with the imports, that there has to be, you can call many things biodegradable, but it's how quickly and how safely it breaks down. Yeah. And that's the reason why we teamed up with Belize Bureau of Standards. They are responsible for that. I know we will start doing testing eventually. Yeah. Again, we have a lot of public concerns that maybe some of the products are not biodegradable, so testing is very important. And so you test the products to see how biodegradable they are? Belize Bureau of Standards will commence a testing process, so they will do random sampling, and hopefully before the end of the year we would know and are in a better position to see which products we are allowed to import. What's the next phase for the phase out? The next phase is to basically just continue ensuring that the, you know, t-shirt bags, the pong bags, the ice bags, those we can transition eventually to having those as biodegradables. You know, we have a lot of restricted products. Yeah. And so gradually we're going to move to see how we can improve in addressing those restricted products that we have. Yeah, yeah. What about some of the, you know, we talk about trying to use your own reusables, you know, using canvas bag, your market bag. We all try, I try. It's just sometimes you forget. But what are some of the other things that people can do to be more environmentally conscious? Well, you know, I think it's more of a behavioral issue because growing up, I know we used to use paper bags. So what we tend to see now is that we encourage people to use the tote bags. We give them the tote bags. We've reached out to supermarkets. We encourage them not to issue the t-shirt bags or the plastic bags unless they request it. We've seen a lot of changes happening where people are taking their own bags. Yes, it's a little bit difficult, but you know, cultural change takes a little bit of time. Yeah. And hopefully, gradually, we'll be moving there. And hence, it's important, like, we use key environmental days like World Environment Day to bring out this information so that people can, you know, start doing that one change. If everybody does a little bit, planet Earth will win. Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen, you know, a lot of people buy into the reusable bags, and that's helpful. It's going to reduce the amount of waste that we have. But my question is, how do you collaborate to work on the bigger problem that we have, which is, I mean, it's throwing away a single-use plastic bag is great if, is always going to be a challenge, but we have a littering problem. And so it makes it worse. So what would have happened through the system with plastics getting into different environmental factors, we do it directly. What do we do about littering in the country? Well, we always work along with the Belize Solid Waste Management Authority, and we have an active littering campaign. We always would know, you will see on our webpage, on our Facebook, we're building awareness on waste management in a whole, because waste management does encompass littering. We empower the local communities as well. You know, we have a littering offense violation legislation. we empower all the new municipalities, all the new councillors, to build awareness, where we use the ticketing system as much as possible. Again, we try not to use the ticketing system. We try to make sure that we build awareness and let people know why it is important for them to properly store or manage their waste.
Yeah.
Like recently, we were at the showgrounds. We were collaborating with them, and building awareness on proper waste management.
Yeah.
Because we know that plastics eventually will become microplastics, and it does have an environmental effect. We have scientific research to show that it's in our marine environment.
Yeah.
And so this type of data is the data we build awareness with to show people that, listen, these are the things that we are consuming. We are affecting the environment. We are affecting ourselves. Right? We've always at the department build awareness around a healthy, clean environment means a healthy and happier Belize, happy people, and a healthier planet Earth.
Yeah. And there are even some young entrepreneurs who've been popping up, creating environmental. We had one last week on the show, MJ's Natural Clean, creating environmentally friendly cleaning products. So there are many different things that people can do to be more environmentally conscious. How do you, how do people get ideas or tips from DOE or from other agencies to see how they can start to integrate that in their daily life?
What happened is that we would promote from a broad perspective.
Yeah.
Again, we do not go into the business and give business ideas.
Yeah.
But once we see that your business is there, we highlight you. For example, the MJ is the one cleaning up.
Yeah.
We have invited them to our fair,
Yeah.
giving that publicity and awareness. We hope to have some of the media houses out there, taking and doing interviews. And then again, it's building capacity with them and then building that collaboration to see how we can contribute to what they are doing to improve or to enhance or grow them. It's not only DOE, We have Beltree that could join them, build these small businesses.
Yeah. Do we still have a lot of schools that create environmental clubs?
We do. We've seen some.
Yeah.
And where they don't exist, we still go out into the schools. We have a program that we call Healthy School Program. We go to the primary schools. We talk to the principals, to the teachers, and we basically see what they're doing before the school year ends. And we see their environmental change by the end of school year. And then they continue that. So we continue that on an annual basis. We call it a Healthy School Program.
Nice. And what are some of the messages that you teach to the little ones?
Well, first of all, we teach them about biodiversity loss, proper waste management, air pollution, land pollution, water pollution, and what they can do, how they can contribute from home, carrying information to their parents, and then bring about that transformative change, that effective change that World Environment Day is calling us out to do right now.
And isn't it interesting how the younger ones are the ones who perhaps grasp the concept more?
It's very interesting, and we've noticed it not only in the environmental issue, but also in the health issues.
Yeah.
So I think it's just that they are more open-minded, they are more available, and they're willing to learn. And again, it has to do a lot of how you engage and excite the child as well, because you might know a lot of information, but if you cannot pass it on to the child, hence it's very important that educational awareness, environmental awareness, it's really a specialty. It's not just telling people certain things, but it's how you get that information out there to them.
All right. And so once again, let's go through how people can participate in World Environment Day. The official day is June 5th, under the theme
Only One Earth.
And the TikTok competition is the one that ends today, so people need to know about that. Tell us the rules once again.
Well, the rules is basically just send us a video no longer than 2 minutes and just tell us what Only One Earth means to you. Again,
let's give them a cheat then. What does Only One Earth mean to you?
And that's why I mentioned the triple threat that Earth has. We're looking at climate change issues. We're looking at biodiversity loss through nature loss, basically referring to deforestation and those type of stuff. And then we're looking at pollution and waste. So we know that government is doing their part. We want to see and engage the general public for them to do their part as well, because again, it's everybody's business.
Yeah. All right. So TikTok competition closes at 4 p.m. today, and then we have the fair.
The fair is on Friday. People do come out. Again, coincides with Market Day in Belmopan, so we expect to see and get a lot of publicity. We've invited over 20 small businesses, local businesses to be out there.
Yeah.
So do come out and you'll, get your discounts on these items that they're selling, and you'll also be informed about changes that are happening and future plans that are coming through the government to address the triple threat.
All right, and then we have our walks.
Yes, the walk is a walk for a healthier body,
Mhm.
which means a healthier earth. It shows your commitment to World Environment Day, and that is what we want the world to see. We will be highlighting all these videos, all these pictures with our hashtag All in One Earth, so that the world can see that, Belize is a small country, but it's doing a great contribution to ensuring that Mother Earth survives and we continue to be a happy people.
All right, and we keep on appreciating the environment that we are blessed with. So the walk is on Saturday in Orange Walk and Belmopan. In Orange Walk, it starts at?
The Central Park, also known as Queen Elizabeth Park, and it ends there as well.
At 6 a.m.
At 6 a.m.
And in Belmopan, where do you start?
It starts at Kamalote. We'll be providing transportation from the Market Square out for people who are interested. So just be there for 5:30, and they will take you out. If you can make your way out to Kamalote, we'd appreciate that as well. And again, snacks provided, refreshments. Bring your recyclable water bottles. We really want to stay away from the disposables, the single use.
And then on June 11th.
June 11th, we come to Belize City to do the walkathon. Again, we had a conflict and we know that certain things has to happen, but we will have the walkathon for Belize City, and we're partnering with Oceana with that.
Nice.
And so our contact person there is Cleon Coleman, so we can register with Cleo Coleman and you'll qualify for that t-shirt.
All right, so everybody get a free t-shirt once they register?
Once supplies is available, you will get.
People like free thing, All right. Well, Jorge, thank you so much for joining us and reminding us once again how important it is that we put into perspective our role in celebrating and preserving the environment.
Yes, thank you too.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, it's graduation season, and we are going to be talking to three top achievers from St. Catherine Academy. So please, stay tuned.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Trying to work and save some money for my house, but it's too hard when you are a single mother. I feel so happy, and I say thanks to God and thanks to the government that I have my own house now.
I'm excited, nervous as well. It's like a dream come true as well. Sometimes you never know that in life you will get something like this, right? Sometimes you struggle in life, and when something like this comes, it's like I'm still dreaming.
I appreciate all that you are doing for me. Well, I think this is the most important thing receiving in my life, that God have something that it calls family. And once we are family, family is love. And if we love, we help each other. And with this, I say thank you, all of you who make this possible. And without you, this couldn't be a better day.
I'll have a key that is for me and my children. One that will not only unlock a door, but one that will unlock the prospect of a better life for us both now and in the future.
When you are in your home and you don't have to worry about nothing that are yours, that feeling is what we are distributing across the entire country. It crosses ethnicity, it crosses political lines, it crosses religious lines. We don't factor in those things because at the end of the day, we're all Belizeans and we need to look out for each other and we need to work together and we need to love each other. At the end, we're one family, and that's the Belizean family.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include Cath Lab, Adult Intensive Care Unit, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, Emergency Rooms, Operating Theaters, Ambulance Services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
And as we said, it is graduation season. There are a lot of excited teenagers and also a lot of proud parents. But we are taking the time to highlight some of our top achievers across the country. And today, we have the top 3 achievers from St. Catherine Academy. I have with me Jada Smith, we have Salima Barrow, and we have Sophia Solano. Sophia is the valedictorian, Salima is the salutatorian, and Jada is the 3rd top-ranking student and also Parents' Night speaker. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
So I guess I should just say have a sigh of relief. It's over. You know, when we talk about achievements for young people, I think we neglect so often to look at the amount of effort that goes into completing school and even being able to top the class. So Sophia, let's just dive into it. 1, congratulations.
Thank you.
And 2, if you were to explain to people what it took to be able to come out on top, what would you say?
Wow, a lot
a lot of work. People tend to just say, oh, congrats, you know, like, good job, but they don't realize that you spend so many hours studying, so many hours, like sometimes it even gets extreme where you have to, like, stay up so late that you don't sleep, you don't eat, you know, like, it gets crazy sometimes, and it could be unhealthy, but I think I learned to have a balance that made me able to do well and still keep myself healthy, so.
Yeah. All right, and for the rest of you?
I would say that it takes a lot of sacrifice, because in high school, you know, people usually say, like, these are the years when you peak, where you have the most fun, and you're always going out and making friends, but in order to maintain a top spot academically, you have to sacrifice a lot of that. So a lot of times my family asked me to go out, or my friends would ask me to go out, and I would be like, no, I can't, because I have to write this essay, or I have to do this or that. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just to mimic what Jada said, it would kind of like leave me been like despondent at times, because I was disappointed, but then I had learned to have a sort of work hard, play hard mentality, and I think that's very important, because as Sophia said, that balance is what helps give you motivation.
How competitive was it between the three of you?
Whew, very.
All right, tell me the truth.
Our entire class is crazy competitive. Forest 2, shout out to Forest 2.
Forest 2.
But
that's science majors, right?
Yes, we're science majors, and we took additional math.
Okay.
And like I think I remember in third form, sometime, I think 17 of us got 4.0s, so it was very, very competitive. So,
were there tears involved?
No.
I don't think no.
Our class is competitive, but we're also pretty close-knit. Like, everybody understands that we're all just trying to get through and, you know, pass the year. So I think we all kind of became friends and tried to lift each other up instead of, you know, putting each other down.
Now, did you aim to be the top of the class? Was that the goal here?
Well, I mean,
not at all, honestly, not at all. The second the pandemic hit, I just kind of was like, I'm just gonna pass. That's
how it was.
The goal is to survive chemistry.
Yes, more a survival type thing than.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's the unique dynamic. I think anyone in the future who says I graduated 2020, 2021, and now 2022. Everyone will have a kind of sigh of acknowledgement, like, you went through that. Tell me what it's like to have spent half of your high school years with distance learning and in a pandemic. Think you've had a chance to put it into perspective?
It was really, really difficult. At first, it didn't really hit because, you know, the school just said, oh, there's a pandemic, we're going to close for a couple weeks. And so we're like, oh, we don't have to pay attention for these few weeks. Like, it's going to come. We're going to go back to school after summer. It'll be fine. But then it never stopped. Like, it just kept going. And so we had to get ourselves together and realize that this was long term. Like, this was our life now. And we had to learn how to discipline ourselves and get ourselves together without help of teachers in a classroom or without the help of your peers around you to motivate you. So I think that was the most difficult part of it, self-motivation and self-discipline, because at first it was extremely difficult to actually do the work that you're assigned and to practice. So yeah, I would say that it's mostly about self-discipline and self-motivation.
Yeah,
definitely.
Was it, you know, some children have explained that they felt like they were partially teaching themselves.
Yeah.
Did it feel that way?
Definitely.
Yeah.
No fault of your teachers, you're just not in a classroom.
It's just the way it is, honestly, because, I mean, like, in a world where you're sitting in front of a laptop 24/7, it's like the teachers are like, okay, in SCA we had this really cool thing called hybrid learning. So they would give us videos to watch, and we had to take our own notes, and in a way we did have to kind of use that to teach ourselves, because the live sessions were very, like, you know, a bit short to accommodate our mental health. So they were a bit shorter to make sure that we weren't there like, oh, like zombies the whole time. So it was a bit hard, because motivation is a really big factor in this, and I, for one, had a very hard time in the beginning. But after, you know, I think we got used to it, and it got better after that.
Do you feel like you got cheated from the high school experience?
Yes.
Yes.
For sure. Yes. Yeah. And I think in our third and fourth years, we were gonna have the most social activities, especially because at least me and Sophia, we were on the student council, so we were excited to be planning events, and then that didn't happen. So it just everything just felt very stagnant, really.
Yeah. And you all play sports too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you didn't get to play, or you didn't get to compete
At first, no.
At first, no.
But I recently went to a couple of tournaments, and I think we just came back from Cancun, like where things are starting to like get back to the way it was, and I really enjoy volleyball, so I really appreciate that. So
now I think a very common assumption that people make when they hear or when they see top achievers is that they think that you're absolute nerds. You don't make time for any fun. You're buried in your books. Is that true?
I mean, I'm buried in my books, but not like textbooks. Like, I'm just reading for fun.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call myself a nerd.
Yeah.
I like the same stuff everybody else likes. I like
Yeah.
watching movies. I like spending time with friends and all of that. So I wouldn't call myself a nerd, but.
But it takes work, right?
It does. It definitely does. I wouldn't say that it takes up all your time and like that's all you have time for. At least not if you do it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
But it does take a lot of work. Like I said, a lot of sacrifice. So it's definitely not something easy to do.
Yeah. And teaching yourself that discipline also includes teaching yourself balance.
Definitely.
Do you feel like that was something you were able to do, Salima?
I feel after a while, yeah, with practice, because as everyone said, it was just so hard in the beginning. I mean, this is something that we had never done before, and it just caught everyone so off guard. But I think after a while, after you get in touch with your support system, and that's something I want to touch on, like you need to have a good support system to get you through it, regardless if you're online, if you're in school, either way, you need to like rely on your friends who have similar aspirations as you, and then that definitely helps.
So that's a key part of it, who you keep around you.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah? Tell us about that.
Well, I think I really want to shout out my sisters. I have really gotten closer to them over the pandemic, and they really were there for me the whole time. I was there like crying, like upset, like I'm so stressed out about school, and they were there. They hugged me, they cheered me up. You know, I really just want to say, Emma and Demi, I love you all so much, and I'm really grateful for them. And my parents, of course, and my friends, especially our friends, we stuck together. Even if it was online, we helped each other out a lot as well.
Yeah. What's the pressure like from your parents? Because when you start excelling, it becomes a bit of an expectation, right?
Oh.
For me personally, my parents don't like push it too much. They don't ever tell me, oh, you have to get good grades, or if I drop a rank or two, they're never like, oh, what's up with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say that there is the unsaid expectation of, oh, it's Jada, she's gonna place high, but I've never felt them pressure me into doing things, or if I was ever not as high as I usually am, they've never told me or made me feel bad about myself. So.
Yeah, I think for me, I think I was one who put the pressure on myself. And then my parents were just like, okay. I think they were more supportive than anything. And as I said, it was more me, like I was telling myself, okay, try and do this, try and do that. And they were honestly just really helpful and really supportive.
Yeah. So what does this accomplishment mean for you personally?
I'd say that this accomplishment means that I'm prepared for the next level, and that I can count on myself to self-discipline, which is basically the challenge of university. That's the difficult part of university, that you're not going to be baby, the teachers aren't going to be right there looking after you. So if anything, I'd say like maybe this pandemic helped us to prepare for that amount of self-motivation and self-discipline. So I think that this accomplishment means that I'm ready for the next level.
Yeah, achieving something like this definitely helps motivate you in the future, because now you know that you're capable of doing something like this. So, and we're all leaving, so we're all going abroad, so it's going to be really different. But just, you know, resting assured in the fact that, you know, we've already accomplished so much, it motivates us, and we know that we can continue doing great stuff in the future. Like we can do it, you know.
And Sophia, how's the valedictorian speech going?
Oh, it's in production. It's there's a lot to work. I kind of want it to be perfect. Like I've always had this thing where I want everything I work on to be like, you know, as good as it can be. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to put a lot of work into that.
What's the pressure here? Is it the message you want to leave to like the wider audience, or is it really just about the message you want to leave with the girls who stuck this out with you?
I think a mixture of both. I feel like I want to give something to everyone. Of course, especially to my graduating class, because I have a lot of close friends there, of course, the girls, and I do want to make something that can touch everyone, you know? So, yeah.
And you both have speeches too that you have to prepare.
Yeah.
They're done, right? Because you're great students, so you're ahead of deadline.
Completely finished. It's sent in.
Yeah,
so
let's come back to reality. What's the message that you want to leave?
For me, they get to speak at the actual graduation.
Yeah.
Since I'm third, I speak at Parents' Night. So the purpose of my speech is a bit different from theirs. I'm supposed to kind of reminisce and go through the memories at SCA to kind of give the parents and the teachers and the staff and the students one last kind of get together to appreciate their relationship and how they helped get each other through this process. So I'm supposed to kind of reminisce about my friendships and my teachers and what I've learned throughout all the years. And so I think my goal is to just make everybody relax and have a good time, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think mine kind of touches on that as well. I think I'm doing a sort of opening, but it's kind of like a sort of reflection, just so everyone can like feel that nostalgia and like be happy, and like you get, like as Jada said, you kind of get transported back into first form and second form, and just for you all to like reflect on like how much has happened and that we're still here, and like, you know, we made it, and it's just a big like congratulations, feel good moment.
Okay. So let's talk about those lessons that you've learned over your 4 years at SCA. What do you think will be that memory that you share with people from high school, beyond the achievement now?
I think what I would share with people is that I learned that you can't do it by yourself, because when I first got into first form from Standard 6, none of my friends were in my class, and so that immediately gave me a negative mindset, like I'm gonna have to do it myself and I can't rely on anyone else. And so that's what I tried to do during my first year, but that made me really sad inside to have to do it by myself. So I think when I got into second form, I approached it with a new mindset and tried to make as many friends as possible and try to be more outspoken and tried to meet new people, and that really helped uplift not only my mental state, but also made me perform better in my academics.
Okay.
I'd say it's about balance. It's a work hard, play hard mentality, and also just pay attention to your mental health, because I believe also here, like in Belize, it can be overlooked at times, but it's really important, just from, you know, my experience, everyone else's experiences, the pandemic. It was all just so complicated, but just take time to yourself, prioritize yourself really, and then the rest can follow.
Yeah,
I agree. I think one of the main things that I've learned is to really like curate your own mindset, because I think that in the beginning I was just so focused, okay, get this work done, do it perfect. You know, I was so obsessed with, you know, doing well that I neglected myself, and I realized that, you know what, I need to like change this. There's more to life than just like forcing yourself to do this all the time, you know. And after I did that, I think in fourth form I started doing that. I changed my mindset completely. I began to be more like, it sounds cliche, but when I became more grateful for the things that I had, and that made me a lot happier. So
let's take a moment here, girls, because very often people see success for the end result. And I always tell people there's no such thing as overnight success. There's just a lot of work, and eventually people take notice. What has been your lesson in failure? What have you failed at, and what has that taught you?
I'd say that my lesson in failure has been that failure isn't something to be ashamed of or embarrassed, because for a lot of people, I think that's why they're so afraid of it, because it's shameful, it's embarrassing to fail, especially when people expect so much of you. But I've learned, well, sometimes where I've failed have been, you know, high school is a lot different from primary school.
Yeah.
So sometimes I got in, and when I got into high school, sometimes I would get grades that I never had seen before in my life. And at first it would be very discouraging, very demotivating, but I realized that I could take it as a lesson, because in primary school I wasn't really applying myself. I was just listening in class and I managed to get good grades. So in high school, my failures taught me, you know, I have to work for what I want. I can't just sit back and it'll come to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what my failures have taught me.
Yeah, and I mean, as platitudinous as a phrase as can be, I mean, you learn from your mistakes, like what Jada said.
Yeah.
You grow from them.
Yeah. I mean, to me, failure was something that I was always scared of, like when I was younger, and I think that really messed me up in a way. So after I started to take failures as, like, you know, another like cliche, but a chance to grow, a chance to learn. And I think, again, once I switched that mindset, I became like a lot more happier and able to do different things. So.
Okay, good. So, I mean, it's important that people know that it's not all A's, that it's not all being on top. Sometimes you have those dips.
Of course, yeah.
Yep.
So let's take a moment to talk about what's next. I understand all three of you will be leaving for college by the end of this summer. So tell us, what's the plan?
Well, for me, I'm supposed to go to Canada, Montreal. That's in Quebec, and the plan is to go to McGill University. So as long as, you know, immigration comes through, then I should be in there by August. Because you know how exhausting that immigration process can
really
be.
bad.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
Yeah.
If only my parents had, you know, gone to Canada and had me there. I wouldn't have to worry about all this.
Not too late for that.
But yeah, apart from the immigration process, I'm really excited. I should be studying arts, and my first year I won't have a major, I'll be undeclared, but my second year I plan to major in maybe English and maybe do a double major in history or something like that. But yes.
I don't want to tie you to a career for the future. It's too early to decide.
I appreciate that.
But what do you think are some of the things that you're interested in exploring?
Me, I'm interested in so much. That's why I chose arts, because you can do so much with arts. There are so many different paths that you can take. You know, you can do a major in English and history and then go on to do law or something like that.
Yeah.
But for me, my dad's a lawyer. I don't want to do anything with law. It seems really boring, really exhausting. But for me, I really like books. I really love reading. I love writing. So I'd like to do something in that area, probably maybe book editing, maybe publishing, something along that line. Yeah.
All right. And for you, Salima?
For me, I will be going to Columbia in New York. And for now, my major is business and finance, especially finance. But I'm kind of keeping my options open because I really do want to explore what they have. And they have this really great core curriculum that focuses on liberal arts and stuff like that. And that's a field that I'm really interested in, just like Jada. So I'm leaving the 3 sciences and additional math behind. Moving on from that. Yeah, we're moving on from that. But there are just so many things I want to explore, like international and public affairs maybe, or history. That's like Jada, I really love history, and I was kind of like disappointed in the lack of like world history that we had in high school. We didn't really get that, and so I kind of just taught myself stuff. Like I would just go like read and like listen to podcasts and stuff just because I was personally interested in it. But I'm excited that I'll be able to have that opportunity now. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, and Sophia?
And yes, I'm supposed to go to the University of Toronto, which I'm very excited about. But like Jada said, the Canadian immigration process is a bit stressful because you have to apply for study permits and things like that. So that has to be approved first. But yeah, I hope to study, I'm got into the Rotman Commerce program at U of T. And I hope to major in finance and economics. So yes, also switching from 3 science. So, but definitely gonna keep my options open, like Salima said, because there's a lot I want to explore as well. Even in in electives, like I want to try classics, philosophy, you know, things like that. So.
And where do you see yourself in the future, Belize?
Well, I do wish to come back and you know, try to make an impact as well, because I feel like we have a lot of work to do as well in Belize. And like Salima said, maybe like some improvements in the general education system, offering more classes, you know, giving more opportunities. I think that's very important, and I also want to be a part of that in the future.
I'm not gonna lie. For the longest time, my mindset has just been get out, go, don't ever look back. But recently, I've kind of had a change of heart, because I guess it's the fact that I'm finally comprehending that I'm gonna go and I might never see some of the people I love again, you know what I mean, if I don't come back. So recently I've had a change of heart and I would want to come back, I'd want to visit, and also there's a lot of work to be done here surrounding things that, you know, the adults and older people might not understand. Not their fault, just generational gap, but you know, a lot of things to do with mental health that really need to be enforced. And you know, our youth, not only here but everywhere, has a serious issue when it comes to mental health that needs to be resolved. So you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always been a little advocate, so that's part of me. Like, I can't let that go now. So no matter what I'll do, I will find a way to come back, continue working with Oceana, continue all my campaigns to Dream Up, pass on the limeade stand to another little girl when I'm older, like all of that.
You still make limeade?
Next question.
Colombia.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll see.
I think they'll ask for some hard stuff there too, but ladies, you know, what you have done is definitely, it's taken a lot of hard work, and so we wanted to take a moment to hear from you. Also say congratulations, and just one final close. Who do you want to say thank you to? And you can look right into that camera there, because they're probably watching on the other side.
Okay. I would like to say thank you first and foremost to all the amazing teachers at SCA, because of course it's not always easy. Of course sometimes they make life really, really hard for us. But you know, at the end of the day, without them we wouldn't be here right now, and they work really, really hard, especially during this pandemic where, you know, everyone's pay was cut. They still kept themselves motivated and tried to help us and get us here. So thank you to them. And I'd also like to thank my friends, you know, these amazing ones here, but also the ones who aren't here: Abigail, Haley, Avianca, Daniela, Chloe. They've all been my pillar of support this entire time. Of course, I'd like to thank my parents. They gave me my foundation. I'd like to thank my brother he did something
for being a brother.
I'd like to thank Miss Nadia. She was my nanny growing up, and she's really just been the light of my life, so thank her too.
All right. Yeah. First, I'll thank SCA. Everyone at SCA has just been so supportive from day one, and as Jada said, sometimes, yes, it was a headache, I will admit, but honestly, they've just been so supportive. Like, the community at SCA is wonderful. Thank you to all my teachers, all my homeroom teachers, the principal, and all the staff. I'd also like to say thank you to my parents. My parents have loved me and supported me through everything, and they've just loved me so much. I can't express how grateful I am to my parents, to my friends, Sophia, Jada, again, Abigail, Haley, Avianca, Daniela, everyone, and all the other friends that I made at SCA, especially Forrest too. You guys are wonderful, honestly. Yeah. Jesusita, I know you're watching. I love you. And also my dog, Sparky. You were amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'd also like to thank everyone at SCA, the teachers and staff, especially Mrs. Catus and Mr. Castillo. I love you guys. But yes, and of course my sisters, like I said before, I love you guys. You really made this year a lot easier for me. My parents, my grandparents, grandma, grandpa, hi. And of course the wonderful friends I've made at SCA, and especially for us too as well. And the same girls that they're talking about. We're all in the same friend group, but yeah. Thank you, everybody, for everything that you've done.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling me a bit about your own journeys. And we wish you the best of luck and look forward to seeing what great things you'll accomplish next.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, it's for our wrap-up, so stay tuned.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. selecciona Security, selecciona Language y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
We were born connected to the water, the deep blue, the soil, the salt air, sheer abundance, ritual, water, expectation of the catch, the wind and waves. What lay beneath filled our bellies, sustained our communities. But song fell to a whisper. Her rituals were lost. Communities changed. But now, that song beckons us back to the sea. The generations that came before, and for the generations still to come. Thriving, abundant sea is possible. Rebuilding fish populations can be our legacy.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Until then, Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And we are back, and we want to say thank you for tuning in today. We have 3 great conversations. First of all, I know we don't want to be talking about any new diseases, but Dr. Jorge Hidalgo came in to kind of just give us a better understanding about monkeypox, what we should be looking out for, why there's concern, and also to allay all fears that it's not something that is considered to be fatal. However, it is a matter of being able to ensure that we monitor in case there is the introduction of the disease in Belize, right? So we want to say thank you to Dr. Hidalgo for that. We also want to say thank you to Jorge from the Department of Environment. Jorge told us all about the ongoing plans for World Environment Day. And just a reminder that TikTok competition, the deadline is 4 p.m. today, so you have to get that out quickly to them. There's also the fair that takes place in Belmopan on Friday, and the walk in Orange Walk and Belmopan, and next week, Saturday, in Belize City. And we also want to say thank you to our top achievers from St. Catherine Academy. Great conversation there with the young ladies. And, you know, I think when we have graduation season, there's a lot of pride and there's a lot of joy in the air. But we're happy to take the time to hear from the students themselves about the work that they've put in to be able to make such achievements. So thank you to Jada, Salima, and Sophia for coming in and sharing their experience. And with that, we're going to wrap up the show. I got a birthday shout out for you today. We are saying happy birthday to Tyrone Rodriguez. Tyrone, we hope you have a great day today. That comes from all of us here at Channel 5 and Open Your Eyes. And for others who want to send in their birthday greetings, you can send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com. You can also reach us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and on Instagram at OYEBelize. Remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 when you open your eyes to start your morning right. Until then, keep your eyes, your mind, and your hearts open. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your